Okay. So number 6, last thing, functionality versus aesthetics.
I didn't know that this was going to be our last podcast ever, but it feels like it should be. I was like it just feels like this one should be our sign off.
So
okay, number 6.
How can you most usefully or efficiently use the space? So plan your size to reduce waste, optimize board size.
Sorry, what? Your title is functionality and not aesthetics.
Yeah. And so like, if you're I don't know if aesthetics is is the exact thing. Like, I don't know if that's exactly the right one.
Plan to work with the materials efficiently, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like, don't build a 14 by 10 deck, push it to 16.
Same price.
Because you're going to buy 16-foot boards and cut them apart anyway. You might as well just throw a couple more joists on it and go with a little bit bigger space.
Probably actually costs you less to do a 16 by 10 than it costs you to do a 14 by 10.
I don't know how that would be possible, but okay. How would it cost you less?
Because, maybe the...
Gotcha, bitch.
Well, so here's the thing. Maybe it doesn't cost you less, but maybe your cost per square foot is lower at 16 by 10 than your cost per square foot at 14 by 10.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that I can get I agree with that.
Right. Because you're going to add 2 joists. You add $60 worth of framing and a couple hangers. So you're at $100.
Couple feet of rail, yeah.
Right? So you added $100 and you got 2 more feet of deck.
Yeah.
Or 20, depending on how you want to do the math on that.
I don't know how you're doing it, but
2 times 10.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So yeah, just optimize board use and stuff. And so that is as easy as figuring out what the heck you're building with. Have an idea of what you're putting together, right? How long do the boards come? If you're doing the bamboo boards, and it doesn't matter, that's fine. They're 6 feet long. They interlock. You don't have to be as worried about 14 feet. But if you're doing composite or cedar, they're 16 feet long. Do 16 feet. 16 foot 9.
Yeah, it takes a little bit more planning than a house where like you have standard.
Nope, not true. I've built a couple houses. It's not even close. Houses are way harder to plan than a deck.
Let me finish this.
Anybody can build a deck.
Let me finish this thought. What I mean is that the building materials are made to what standard house sizes are, and decks are very not standard, so therefore you got to plan for it more.
Yeah.
A house, it's like, how much drywall do I need? It's like, well, your ceiling's 8 feet tall. Yep. Okay. Well, then you need 4 foot wide sheets.
Yep.
Is it 9 feet tall? Okay. Well, you need 4.5 wide sheets.
But
The materials come to fit the size that people build things at. But with decks, it's like there's no rule book. It's not like 13.5 foot decks are like 80% of what gets built. So therefore we make our boards 13.5 feet long. It's like, no, they just make them in certain lengths and you got to play to the materials rules, not the other way around.
Yeah. And that sort of happens in the house industry as well. When we built our house, we did 10-foot walls, and there was a bit of a pushback from the builder. It was like, going to 12s isn't actually going to cost you that much more. Like if you went to a 12-foot interior wall instead of a 10-foot interior wall because of the material, right? You're taking your 4-footers and cutting them in half, blah, blah. But anyways, I said, have you seen the price of paint? So then we did 10-foot walls. Last example.
Home Advisor said the 10-foot walls are way cheaper than the 12-foot wall.
Yeah. The last one that I had on here was stairs should be divisible by 20 feet. Lights and trims like that can be considered functional, right? Like adding some lighting for your stairs so your grandma doesn't trip down.
Explain the stairs divisible by 20 feet.
Solid edge deck boards that you use on your stairs are 20 footers. And so make sure that the boards cut up nicely into that 4-foot or 5-foot, not 6-foot. 6-foot wide stairs are not ideal.
Yeah, you get a little bit of waste that way for sure. Unless
you can use them as
you're doing picture frames, then you can use up those 2-foot chunks.
Yeah, because then it's 7-8 feet, and then you've only got 12 feet of wasted board.
Yeah,
good to go. Don't do big stairs. I think that whenever people walk in here and they're like, I want to do this giant, long, cascading, 13-foot wide set of stairs that sprawls out onto my lawn, it's just like that monstrosity costs as much as your whole deck. What are you doing?
People pretty commonly underestimate the cost of stairs on their deck.
It's the worst.
For one, because they never calculated it into their head in the first place.
Oh, it's over.
Oh, no. Delete. That one's not worth saving. And so they often don't calculate it in the first place. They think like how much, even if you're able to give them a square foot number, you're like, it's $20 a square foot for materials or something. Then they're like, oh, my deck is 10 by 10, so $2,000 then.
Yep.
Yeah. But
and then stairs.
$500 for the stairs.
Yeah.
And they never calculate that part in. And then they want some big fancy stairs. And it's like, not only did you not calculate it, your stairs are going to cost as much as the deck. This is now a $4,000 deck, not a $2,000 deck. How? It's just stairs. Yeah, but look at the amount of materials going into it. Mm-hmm. It's as much as the deck. And if you're hiring somebody to do it, it's far more complicated and time consuming than building the deck. The stairs.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
I don't got to tell you that.
You don't got to tell me that. I already knew that. That's why I said don't do big stairs.
Yeah. Unless you can afford it.
And then do big stairs and buy other stuff from me because I love selling big staircases. I always try and talk.
I do like big stairs.
Yeah.
But in some design applications, they can make a lot of sense. You know what I had is a customer that came in.
Fruit roll up.
What?
You had a fruit roll up.
Nope. A couple weeks ago. They are.
You should have one.
And she wanted to build this deck, and she wanted this because it can make for a very grand entrance. You know, people ought to spend a lot of money in their front yard, kind of landscaping and building for curb appeal in the front yard, and then they want big stairs or like a grand entrance, whatever. A deck you can get that same thing, and usually that starts with a nice big set of stairs. But she had this idea that she had copied off Pinterest or something, and it was like the deck. But she's like, I don't want any stairs included. And I was like, okay, it sounds good. Cause she's like, cause I want to do this. This is the dream. And it was some cast concrete box planters. And in between it was like concrete steps, but everything was up to the height of the deck. And there was some planters and some lights built into it. It was a super cool look. It was very industrial, like just a different material getting mixed in with the rest of the decking. Awesome. And I thought that looked way cooler than just putting a set of composite deck stairs on their deck.
Probably cost the same.
Nope. Don't know about that, but it was.
I looked it up. I looked it up on Home Advisor, and they said concrete costs $10 a square foot.
Yeah,
and so that's what we're doing.
$4 a bag, right?
Unbelievable.
A couple bags.